This is a Bostitch finish nailer, and I'm going to talk about a couple things on it that are going to be self-evident if you've read the manual, but sometimes it's good to see someone do things. Bostitch, this particular machine, shoots between 1 and 2.5 inch long fasteners, and we opted for a straight framing nail or straight finish nail because these are cheaper and they're not proprietary. We also opted to use a 16 gauge fastener instead of an 18 gauge fastener because finish nails are funny. There's thin pieces of metal, and at 18 gauge, if you hit something hard, these nails can bend when they go in, or sometimes they don't get good penetration if you don't have a thick enough piece of metal. So a 16 gauge will pierce most any piece of wood material you send it through. People that use this machine often use it to finish off their hardwood floors in the corners. We rent it as part of the hardwood floor package. This machine has a swivel tip so you're not fighting your hose. It has a contact versus sequential nailing system. It's set on sequential now because if you have it on contact, what happens is if you pull your trigger, anything you bump it into means it shoots a nail. And I don't like it because it's dangerous, and I don't like it also because sometimes you can double fire on this mode. So if you want to set it to this, read the directions on how to do it. It's pretty simple. It involves pushing and rotating this arrowed slot to the right setting. But we would prefer, and it's probably a good idea unless you have a lot of experience, to always leave it on the sequential trip method. It loads a little different in that you insert your nails in the back end of it, and there's a piece of metal flange here, and what you do is you pull the nails past that metal flange so that they're sliding loose in here, and then you grab this mechanism and pull it back, set it behind the nails, and then it pushes it forward, and you're loaded and ready to go. This gun is magnesium based, and so it's nice and light and it's easy to handle, and its air port is on the back end of it, so it won't blow in your face. We always rent this machine with 50 feet of non-kinking, non-marring Flexilla hose and 150 psi pancake compressor. I'm going to plug it in now and drive a nail so you can see it in action. You pull this back, push onto the nipple, and release, and now it is live. Since I have it in the sequential mode, I can pull the trigger and touch it and it won't go off. However, if I touch it and pull the trigger, it goes off. With all nail guns, especially finish nailers, be aware of where your fingers are. These nails don't always go straight as directed, and so if they hit a hard part or a knot or another nail, sometimes they'll bend out at an angle. And so if you have your finger here, suddenly that nail pops out sideways. That's a safety thing that the manual goes over, but it's worth reminding you and to pay attention to. These machines operate between 70 to 120 psi, and they'll do so all day long. The pancake compressors that we rent out have 2 ports, but I recommend that you only use one. 2 last things to show you on the Bostitch. One is this particular model that we use allows you to manually set the depth of your nail. This is kind of a fine-tuning button. You can do it with your air as well, but this, when you're just trying to get just a millimeter more, this is an easier system. Secondarily, and the second thing I want to show you is the nail jam removal system on it. This is really nice. First of all, make sure you've disconnected your air. Release your fasteners out of the way. Requires a little force to push them. You have to lift and pull this back and push the fasteners back past your metal piece. And then it's this easy. You grab the front of this plastic, lift it, and it releases a cam here. and then you can get your nails that are jammed out of here. Sometimes you need a pair of pliers to do it. Sometimes it's just easy as catching it with the edge of a screwdriver and lifting it out by hand. When you're done, you put this piece back, reactivate that cam, and push your piece of plastic.